Hey, can men get pregnant? Well, it turns out, kind of depends on who you ask. 99.999% of all the people that have ever been born on the planet can answer that question very easily. But there's a small percentage. There's a man in Scotland. He's been donating blood for about 50 years. Some would call him a national hero, a treasure. Literally doing the work to save, he's probably saved thousands and thousands of people's lives by simply donating blood throughout the last 50 years. I mean, the way he's saved humanity is almost immeasurable. This guy's a goddamn hero. Well, he's no longer going to give blood. And this is sad. But it's kind of predictable. And here's how it played out. So like I said, the man was in Scotland. And he went to his blood bank. And he refused to answer a question on the little census before they give the blood. You know, they usually ask health questions and what have you. So a man in Scotland who has given blood for nearly 50 years was recently turned away after offering a donation because he refused to tell healthcare professionals whether or not he was pregnant. There is always a form to fill in, and that's fine. They tend to ask about medical conditions or diseases, and clearly that's because the blood needs to be safe. Longtime Scottish blood donor Leslie Sinclair told the Daily Mail. This time around, there was a question I hadn't seen before. Are you pregnant, or have you been in the last 6 months? So when Sinclair refused to answer the question, the clinic turned him away. NHS, that's the National Health Services of Scotland, told the National Desk that the pregnancy question had been placed on its donor health check form for those seeking to give blood on April 6th, 2022. We appreciate the support of all blood, plasma, platelet donors, and would like to extend our thanks to everyone who's complied with this change. Okay. Blah, 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 blah. The questions on our donor health check, including those with regard to donor sex, gender, recent pregnancy, and any history of fertility treatment, are all important in ensuring donor, patient, and blood safety. Whilst pregnancy is only a relevant question to those whose sex is female, this is not always visually clear to staff. Oh, give me a break with this nonsense. These people are so afraid of misgendering someone that they're literally ruining everything. Let's break it down. This is a guy who's donated blood for the entirety of his adult life. Happy to do it, giving to his community. This guy is what every community wants, someone who gives selflessly and helps people. He didn't ask for anything. He was just doing a good thing, and he did it for decades. Now, the woke mob shows up, and we have to ask if you're pregnant, because I guess men can get pregnant now. Well, now, until quite recently, it was widely realized that men could not get pregnant. And until very, very, very recently, according to the YouTube rules, I have to say, well, of course a man can get pregnant. Okay, YouTube. Sure, men can get pregnant. All right. So anyway, you see where this goes. This is bordering on insanity. But here, there are consequences now. Let's say, okay, this is in Scotland. Let's say there's another terrorist attack, because I don't know, there has been an infiltration of some people who may or may not have a proclivity for blowing things up. I don't know. Anything could happen. And then something, maybe a bomb goes off on a train or a bus. Hey, listen, anything can happen. I don't know. I can't predict the future. So 20, 30, 50 people instantly and you get rushed to hospitals and they need blood desperately to let them stay alive long enough to seek the medical care that the doctors can provide. They're triaged. Oh no, Becky had her leg blown off and she needs serious amounts of blood to keep her alive just until the doctors can get to her. Well, now there's one less blood donor. He's never going back. He's never going to give blood again. And the next time there's an emergency and they need blood, well, there'll be a little bit less. And I don't blame this guy. I don't blame him at all. He's standing up for his convictions. He's doing them a favor and they're basically harassing him with stupidity. So he packed up his stuff and said, I'm out. I'm done. And I like this guy. I like this guy for a couple reasons. He's selfless. He literally gave of himself for decades to help strangers that he would never meet. This guy is amazing. They should put a statue of him in the middle of town, just for being just a decent, good human being. But he's not going to anymore. And he stands up for his convictions. He's just the kind of guy that goes, oh, this policy? Oh, no, that's nonsense. And I'm not going to play with nonsense anymore. So I'm taking my toys and I'm going home. That's going to have effects on people. And I wish more people would do it. So how does this end? Well, I think there's going to be a lot more Sinclairs. And in your personal life, when you come against something that is nonsensical or it offends your moral objections or whatever, stand up. You don't have to make a big scene and you don't have to be a pariah. See, the thing is, the people that believe differently from the way that you believe, they're standing up for what they believe in. Why do you think there are drag queen story hours for every kid in 150 cities this week? They believe this and they're standing up for it. If you don't stand up to your convictions with the same amount of energy, you will lose. I'm not going to ask any dumb questions, but please take a moment to donate some of your time to hitting that subscribe button, and then I will see you later this afternoon.